Alright, today finally going to tackle a job that I've been contemplating for a while now, and that's upgrading the lighting on the Ranger. Honestly, I'm kind of a fan of the old school look of these headlights, even though they've seen better days. So I'm going to be installing new headlights, and the ones I went with, there's not really a whole lot of choices for the 93 to 97 Ranger. So you've probably seen. Alright, so here's what they look like. You got the headlights. They honestly kind of look a little bit like the 2001 style headlights, except 2001s had the turn signal here, whereas on the 90, like my 95 here, the turn signal's over on the side. So it comes with this kit. It's only like $60 on eBay. It comes with the clear turn signals and these headlights. They take the factory style like 9007 bulb, so your high and low is still in here. And this is supposed to be a fog light, but what I'm going to do is be modifying this to just be a high intensity HID projector that will just blast light out of it when I need it. So for in an off-road situation, you know, when I'm on the back roads at night and I flip on the high beams, I want this to kick on with the regular high beams just to give me a ton of light on the road. So how I'm doing that is, these things are kind of really crappy cheap projectors, but they take an H3 bulb. So what I'm going to have to do is take this cover off of here and modify this to take an H3 HID bulb. And I've already modified the projectors. What I did is I took these 3 screws out and removed the projector housing from the headlight assembly. Once you do that, there's a screw here and a screw right here on both sides that you take out, and you can actually pull the projector, the front lens part off the projector assembly. When you do that, you'll see there's a shield inside of there. The shield is what determines the cutoff. I just removed the shields on both of them. That way there is no cutoff, and the light will just pour out of here. Like I said, these will only be used in an off-road situation when you're not worried about blinding oncoming drivers, and then, you know, just the regular DOT Leo headlights here will be used in all other times. So the first step is going to be getting these old ones, all the old stuff out. Have to remove the grill and the headlight assemblies, along with the turn signals, which doesn't seem like it should be that hard, but when stuff's been on here for 20 plus years, it can make it a little more difficult. Getting the grill off is pretty easy. There's just screws all along the top here. You just pull those out and the grill just pulls right off the front. Then we'll go from there. Alright, once you get the grill off, here's what you're looking at. To get the headlights out, if you come back here, there are these metal slides that have to be pried up. So there's one on the top, one on the bottom, and then one over here. The problem is, I'm looking down at these and they are rusted, and I've already sprayed them with some PB Blaster to try to get them to loosen up, but I have a feeling that these things are just going to break right off when I try to take them out. So that'll be fun. The corner lights here, there's a screw up here on the top, and then back here you have to remove this nut, and then there's the wiring you have to remove. You can do that once you get it out though. So we'll see how this goes, but like I said, I highly recommend lubricating these little slides beforehand. And what I may just do is just take this whole header panel here off and try to get the headlights out with that off of it, because it might be a lot easier. Alright, so here we are with the corners removed. I lied, you don't really have to take this out to get the corner removed. Just undo that one bolt back there and pull it straight out. Disconnect your wiring. And now we gotta try to get the headlights out. That's gonna be the fun part. Yeah, so I am gonna just remove the whole header panel across the top here to get better access to the back of the headlights. How you do that is there's a bolt here, and then you've got one here and one here. These are all 8mm, and then one here and one here, and one here and right here, and then the last one right here. Once you get all those out, this whole cross piece will pull right off. But like I said, rust, be careful. Use some penetrating oil first. So I almost forgot, I actually had this off once before. There's a really annoying bolt that sticks out of here and goes into here that you have to unbolt from up under behind here. And on my case, it was all rusted out and it just like ripped right out of here. But on this side, that's not the case. So I'm gonna have to see if I can get that. I might just pull this off of here and make it like that side. Just extra stuff that Ford put in there. Alright, so got the front off. Let's see what we're dealing with here. A little bit of rust on there. It's common on these Rangers though. It just seems like the rust or the salt gets up in there and there's no way to wash it out. But anyway, you can see the remote oil cooler for the 5.0 conversion right there. It's about time for an oil change too. It's funny, the oil filter's rusting. I've never seen one of them do that. Anyway, so now it'll be a little easier to get to the clips on the headlights. We can set this over here and you can see what we're dealing with here. So there's those two, this one, which is all 8 up, and then same thing over here on this side to get the headlights out. Those are the adjusters. So I'm going to work on getting those out. We'll be back. Alright, the best way to do this is just to take a screwdriver, put it right here, and then take a hammer and just beat it. Just one quick tap and it'll come out. I'll show you. See if I can do this here. See, the clip came off. And then once you get all the clips off, you just tap on that and the headlight will fall right out. Which is what happened on that side. Like I said, you gotta be a little careful with the clips, especially when they're old and rusty like this, but it's not too bad. Alright, so now that I've got the old ones out, what I'm going to actually try to do to save myself a lot of aggravation, I'm gonna try to reuse these factory adjusters and just move them over to the new headlight housings. I don't know if that's gonna be possible. I'm about to find out. But that would, in theory, make the new headlights be adjusted perfectly without having to do anything. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if they'll go on there. If not, I guess I'll be adjusting headlights tonight. Alright, now as far as modifying these aftermarket lighting assemblies to take the HID bulb, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not gonna sit here and reinvent the wheel. You know, when you take this off of here, I'll show you. So here it is with the back off. See, so here's what a regular H3 bulb looks like. It's only got the one wire, and then the back is got the ground on it. There's no way to put the HID bulb in here and get this back on. So what I had to do was do a little bit of rigging. I'm not too proud to do that. I put just a dab of an adhesive on the plastic, not so much that this won't come out of here, like if it burns out, just to kind of help hold this in place once it dries on the plastic face where it fits on there. And then I used a zip tie and this silicone, this high temperature silicone self-wrapping tape to hold the zip tie to hold this in place. So hopefully that'll keep it watertight and will withstand the temperatures. I'm sure this is going to get pretty hot when it's on. So even though it'll only be for intermittent use, it'll still get pretty hot. Because these H3 HID bulbs are a heck of a lot different than a regular H3 bulb, and they stick way out. Alright, so I got the adjusters switched over from the factory one, and got everything hooked back into place here. Transferred the bulbs over. So now on to the other side. Alright, so after we get everything kind of loosely in place, I just set this back up here. I've got a universal HID relay harness here that I'm going to be using to power the lights. That way they have plenty of power. Pretty simple. Just make a connection to the battery. You have a connection to ground on each side. This is where it will plug into your ballast. And then you have this wire here, which would normally connect to your headlight harness, but I'm going to just cut the end off and splice the positive and negative into the high beam circuit. And that will control the relay, when to turn it on and provide power to our HID bulbs. Alright, it's getting dark out, but I've got my ballast mounted here, and these are some 55 watt cheap innovated whatever ballast, and from Amazon. Here's another one over here. These are the AC ballast though, so they seem to work a little bit better. And now I'm going to get this put back in here. But first, let's test it out, see how it looks. Alright. They are on, they work. They are bright. So now it's time to get everything bolted back together. Alright, one other thing to note with this, the factory bulbs are clear because they're in amber housings, so to make this work you'll need a set of new bulbs also. And then you reuse your sockets from your old lights. So as soon as I get these put in, I've already put the grill on. See what the finished product looks like. Alright, I got to looking at this a little bit more. I'm really not crazy about those clear corners. Some of you might think I'm crazy, but I really like the amber corner lights. So I think I'm just going to stick with those, with the clear headlights. See how I like that combo for a little while. Okay, so here's the finished product. Yeah, I definitely like it much better with the amber corners. It's not the important part. Let's see how bright it is. Alright, so here is just the low beams, and when I flip the high beams on, you can see the difference. It's quite dramatic. Again, there's the low beams, and that's with the high beams. It takes them a second to warm up since they're HIDs, obviously. Definitely puts a lot more light on the road. There's the lights off. High beams. Just flashed past high beams. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with that. Alright, well hopefully this video helps you out. See you next time. Like or subscribe, leave a comment below.